Can I see it?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for this workshop on using Microsoft Word for your academic writing. So this may be, maybe you know some of the things we're going to have a look at today. Maybe everything is new for you. That doesn't matter because we're all going to find something useful to take away from this workshop today. So my name is Kieran. I am one of your English support tutors here on the Manchester campus of Elizabeth School of London. So, let's not tarry any longer and let's have a look at what we've got on the agenda for today. So, let's have a look at some self-reflective questions to begin. So, do you feel that you're really getting the most out of Microsoft Word? Are you using it like a typewriter, or are you actually using all of its functions to really save time and save effort, etc.? Uh, do you find yourself spending a lot of time manually formatting things like the headings and paragraphs, spaces, etc.? Well, you needn't be doing that because there is a better way. So there are some little functions, little tips and tricks to help you with all of those things, and we're going to look at them today. So our objectives are we're going to be looking at how to use styles. Okay, this is an important function. We're going to have a look at using styles to help us to efficiently format our writing. We're also going to be looking at using breaks, especially section breaks, in order to really make sure that we're saving time and saving effort. And then lastly, we're going to look at using templates to always make sure we're using a consistent structure in our documents. Okay, so let's have a little think now. You might want to pause the video at this point, but let's have a think about this question that we have here on the screen. So what challenges are you currently facing when you are using Microsoft Word? Do you feel you're taking too much time formatting manually? Are you having some difficulty in creating uniform headings? And are you struggling with things like page numbers, sections, things like that? So pause the video, have a little think, and then we will move on. All right, so hopefully you've had a little bit of time to think about that. And whatever happens, we're going to look at some things today that will be useful for you. All right, so as you can see here on the screen, we are going to be looking at styles. Okay, have you ever used styles before? All right, because these are super useful for you to have some consistent structure to your writing. So they are predefined, so they are already formatted. And just by using them, you can have consistent headings, body text, etc. It really stops you from having to adjust the things yourself. Okay, so if you get it done once and you get it done right, then everything else is going to fall into place. So the reason that we use them is you can set them up for the guidelines that your university has set for you. So if there is a specific font that you need to use, a specific size of the font, line spacing, etc., then if you set it up right at the start, then it should be just one easy, simple little click, and that will make sure that everything is set up for you. Okay. So we are going to have a look at this interactively now. So we are going to have a look at trying to add a heading style to our document. Okay, so when we do this, you need to notice the difference between the consistency when you have to do it manually and then how it looks different when you use styles. Okay, so let's close that screen for a second. We're going to open up another screen and then we will see how to do it. Okay, so when you are doing, oh, no, we don't want it like that. When you are doing normal writing, it can be quite difficult. Okay, so if you say something like introduction, normally you have to kind of bold and underline and increase the size, and it takes a bit of time to do that. Okay. But if you want it to look like a heading straight from the start, then there's one very easy thing we can do. So you highlight the information that you want to be a heading. You look at the styles section over here, and you click on the heading 1 section and look at that. It has made it so that is a nice clear heading, and this heading will be linked to the table of contents later on. Okay, so once you click that, that is what it comes up with. Okay, and then if you have a look at the next line underneath, it reverts to the normal text. Okay, so in this assignment, and then etc. Okay, so you've got your heading, you've got your normal text, and all you've done is to type in, is to click on the heading section and the styles, and you have a very clear differentiation between the heading and the normal text. Okay, so isn't that useful? Yes, it is. Correct. All right. So anytime you need to add in a heading, just follow that and you will be fine. Okay. So let's continue on. Yeah. All right. Okay, so for the next part, the next thing we're going to have a look at is automating your formatting. Okay, so we've just seen how we can do a heading in styles, but we can also format every other part of our assignment. So it could be headings, it could be body text, it could be other subheadings, and they can all be set from the styles part of the menu. Okay, so you don't have to edit everything yourself. You just need to click on one of those and it will help you out. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can do it. Wrong one. Let's try a different one. All right. So again, so if we wanted to then change this text to a heading, we could do it like that. If we want to change it to a different type of heading, if we want to change it to the title, subtitle, etc. So every time you add in some new text, you can then change it to a heading or a title, subtitle, etc., etc. So that is going to save you a lot of time and a lot of effort somewhere along the way. Okay. So have you ever used styles before then? Do you think that would help you to improve the efficiency of your writing in future? Then, well done. That's a good thing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to have a look at creating and customizing styles. All right, so we've seen the default ones there, but depending on your institution, depending on your university, they may need other specific guidelines to be followed. Like we said before, the font, the size, the color, and the alignment. All right. Okay. So if you get this set up at the start of your document, then you won't need to change anything else later on. You can also save this kind of template, so the next time you need to write an assignment, then everything will be uniform. All right. So let's have a look at how we're going to do this now. So we are going to be creating a new style. So if we have a look, can everybody see this? Yeah. So it could be if you go to create a style. Okay. So this could be something like assignments. You change the name. Okay. And then you can modify here. So maybe you need to use, for example, Times New Roman. And everything needs to be size 12. Well, no one's probably going to ask you for it to be all bold, but this is where you can sort out the justification, the line spacing, things like that. Okay, so when you press OK, then you are going to then be able to, if we have some text. So if you want it to be in the right style for an assignment, you click on it at the top, and then you can see it's in 12, it's in Times New Roman. It has all of the settings that we need for it to fit the guidelines of our assignments. Okay. All right, so if you then use that every time, then you will never need to change it. You will never need to alter it, and it can set you up for the next few years of your course. Okay, so that is what we've just done there. We've created a new custom style for us to use in future. All right, so next of all, we're going to have a look at creating an automatic table of contents. If you try to do this yourself, it can actually be quite difficult if you're doing it manually, but it is possible that if we do it using some automatic tools, it can just be easy and just a couple of clicks of our mouse button, and then we will be all set. Okay, so first of all, you need to make sure that you have a few different headings. Okay, so let's go back to our text. Okay, so let's imagine we have a few different headings. So we've had introduction, but we make sure we spell it correctly to begin. Then we have one called body, but we're going to set that as a heading as well. And then we're going to have another one, which is conclusion, but we're going to set that as a heading as well. Okay, so what then we do is we click on references, we click on table of contents, and then we are given a few different options for how we can set that up. Okay. All right. So as we saw there, we clicked on table of contents, we clicked on one of the normal styles that we have there, and it has taken the data from all of the headings that we set up, and it has created a nice little table of contents for us. All right, so isn't that useful? Yeah, so we don't have to do it ourselves. We don't have to go back through all of the assignment, finding out all of our headings and adding them to our own table of contents, formatting it ourselves, trying to get all of those dots and page numbers in the right place. It is easy peasy. And then as you add more headings, it will update, and then you will never need to go back and do it for yourself. Okay. Oh, that is super useful. I wish we had that back in my day. Okay, so what we've done there then is we have added a table of our contents to our current document. All right, so hopefully you go ahead and use that in future. All right, so the next thing we're going to have a look at here are breaks, and more specifically, we're going to look at section breaks. Okay, so breaks allow us to set different formatting to different pages, and then it makes sure that it doesn't affect the rest of our document. Okay, so you can be typing along and you want the formatting to be a little bit different. Okay, you add in a break, and for that specific page or for that specific section, you can use different formatting, but the rest of the document will be the same. Okay, so let's try and do that for ourselves now. We return to our document. Okay, so let's add in a little bit more text. Okay. All right, so at this point, we have this first page here, which is in portrait, but maybe we want our next page to be in landscape. Okay, so we go on to our next page. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so at this point, we are going to be adding in a section break. Okay. Wait. I'm sorry, I've closed the wrong one here. Okay, so if we add in a break up here, all right, so now on this page, we'll be able to change the orientation. Okay. All right, so you see for the first couple here, they are in portrait mode, but as we added in the break on the next page, this has now enabled us for that page to change the orientation to landscape. Okay, so if you have maybe been writing your assignments, your essay here, but on the next page you need to have it in landscape mode so you can add in a data graph or something like that, then this gives us a really helpful change to the layout. All right, so as you just seen then, we have used the section break or the page break in order to change the formatting. So we can change it in one specific place, but not change it for everything. Okay, so now the next part, at some point you may need to change the margins of your document in order for it to be suitable for when you're printing. Okay, so this is going to be us going into the layout section and then changing the margins to match any kind of formatting guidelines we have. Right? Okay, so if we go back to this one here, so we're still in the layout section, we're going into margins, and then as we change the different settings, you'll notice that the text is moved or it's formatted slightly different so that it will work in different settings. Okay. All right. So that is how it would look normally in a narrow section, in a moderate section, wide, and then in a mirror section. Okay. So always be careful. Have a look at your assignment brief about what margins are needed for any specific assignment. Okay. So in the next part, maybe you have set up your margins, you set up some nice page breaks, you have created your own styles specifically for your academic institution. And instead of doing that every single time, changing it again every time you open up a new Word document, you are actually able to save all of those settings that you've created and to save it as a template. Okay, so if you do that, the next time you open up Word, you can select the template and you will not need to change anything afterwards. Okay, so let's have a look at how we do this. Okay, so you see now we are back at our assignment we've been working on. Okay, but we want to save it as a template. So what we do is we go to File, we go to Save As, you choose a place to save it. So let's imagine we're going to save it in Documents, but this is where things change a little bit. So it could be Assignments. That's what we're going to call it. But instead of saving it as a Word document, we save it as a Word template. Okay. And then we've saved it. Okay. So the next time we open up, you will be able to see. So let's start. We've opened up Word again, or we've created a new document. You go to your personal section, and the assignment template is already set up there. Okay, the headings are the same, the margins, the text, things like that. Okay, so that is going to save you a huge amount of time in future instead of changing all of those settings again. Okay, so we've just been through that, yeah? Okay, so you go through the new section, you select the personal template, and then you can just go ahead with your assignment itself. All right, so let's have a bit of a review of everything that we've looked at so far. So what we've done is we've automated our formatting using styles, okay? Going from normal text to heading text, subtitle text, things like that. We've had a look at using page breaks and section breaks so that we can add in pages or sections with different formatting, but everything else stays the same. We've also had a look at using a template and saving a template so that it can save us time in future by keeping the same settings. Okay, so we got a question for you. How do you think applying these techniques will help you to improve your academic writing in future? Okay. Is it going to save you time? Is it going to save you effort? Is it going to save you the frustration and the annoyance and the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into writing an assignment? So hopefully it can help you with all of those things. Okay, so this usually would be a time for Q&A, but we currently don't have any students here, so that's fine. But remember, if you do ever need any help with formatting or writing your assignments, you can always come to the Student Success Department and we'll be happy to help you out. If it is something more English language related, then you can come to the English support tutors and we would be more than happy to help you with that. But it's always best to try things for yourself a little bit. So maybe now after this video, have a look at creating some templates, having a look at section breaks, heading, styles, things like that. All right. So the only way that you can get good at these skills is by practicing them. So in your papers that you have coming up, try to use them. And remember, there are other people out there on the internet who've had similar problems to you. So if you ever have any struggles with these, just a quick search with a search engine will help you if you're thinking about referencing or citing, editing. Lots of other people have had problems with this when using Word. So there are lots of places that can help you. I mean, Microsoft itself has created a little web page that you can use to help with any support needs you may have. So there is a QR code there on the screen to help you with that. Okay. So we've now come to the end of the workshop. So do you feel more confident about using Word to make your academic writing more efficient? So do you feel very confident, somewhat confident, or still need practice? Now, it doesn't really matter what your answer is there because there is always the opportunity to improve and find out new skills. But hopefully you have increased your knowledge a little bit during this workshop. Okay. So as you know, we should always reference our work. So we have referenced some support from Microsoft here in order to create this presentation. All right, so that has brought us to the end. So my name is Kieran. I am one of your English support tutors, and thank you for attending today.